Howdy folks, Nathan coming at you from Road America in Wisconsin. We have an opportunity to work with Acura to go behind the scenes with their racing program. That's right, they do racing and they're serious about it and they've been doing it for decades. We have an opportunity in this video to show you behind the scenes tuning, including of this vehicle, which is the Acura NSX GT3 Evo, and a lot more. There are several differences between the Acura NSX GT3 Evo over the regular NSX. Mainly, the electric motors have been removed. The V6 has been dropped down a little bit because there's no longer an electric motor there, and they're able to lower it for better center of gravity. They got rid of the 9-speed dual clutch, and they have a 6-speed sequential transmission. Also, it's wider, it's a carbon fiber body, but a lot of the components they use, including the engine, are basically out of the same factory. It comes out of the factory.
Comes right out of the factory. Comes back in just a couple modifications to it. Stock turbos, housings with little modified internals, stock intercoolers, X-Track Racing gearbox in the back, and then a radiator that's been a little bit bigger.
That gearbox is a 6-speed sequential?
Sequential gearbox, correct.
So and that's in lieu of the 9-speed twin clutch?
Twin clutch, correct.
Right. Now, because you lost the electric motor between, I think, the transmission and the engine, you're able to drop the engine down too, right?
A little bit, yep. This car has, that's a little different than the stock car, is obviously the carbon fiber bodywork. We start at the front. It has a splitter, dive planes, a different hood for better cooling and downforce. The fenders have the louvers in them for more downforce. Everything is built for lightweight, a little bit wider bodywork, a little bigger openings for the intercoolers and cooling. The trunk lid, which is over there, obviously doesn't have a glass closed in, and obviously a lot bigger wing. And then in the rear is part of the Evo package is a different rear bumper that has exit ducts on the rear and then a new rear diffuser.
Coming up next, well, we get a few laps of Road America in one of these, an Acura RDX A-Spec. But it's not just with some regular driver. No, they're going to put me in the car with Juan Pablo Montoya. Yeah, you may know him as winning 7 Formula One races and 10 Champ Car races, among other things. So they're about to put me in the back seat because I'm ballast with one of the more aggressive drivers out there. They're gonna kick my ass. Normally being a passenger isn't a big deal, but I'll say vaya con Dios to my esposa because I'm a passenger with Juan Pablo Montoya. Welcome to Operations at Road America. Now, this is truly behind the scenes. Very few people get a chance to get back here. Bear in mind, this is a massive track. It's 4 miles, and it has 14 turns. It is big, a lot bigger than a lot of other tracks that are around 2 miles and change. Keep in mind that on race day, you have between 40 to 100 people working the corners alone. This operations center is incredibly important for security, for safety, and for driver conflict. Because remember, when you get into a fender bender, they see it on camera, and this is where the penalties kick in.
Edwin over there talks to all the corner workers. They call in anything they see, smell, or hear out on the track. We call them our eyes, ears, and our noses out there. They're our first line of defense if anything happens on the track. They wave the flags. That's how we communicate with the drivers out there. As soon as an incident happens on track, one of the first things I do is hit add a call. This is a 911, an old 911 system, which is perfect for us because it doesn't have all the new questions that they have to ask when you call 911.
Here's a special moment. We had a chance to sit down with the crew who worked with the Acura ARX-05. Now that stands for Acura Racing Experimental Generation 5. This is a twin turbocharged 3.5 liter IMSA car, and it's currently leading its class. That's right, it's a winner. And that engine, that 3.5 liter V6, it's actually based on the production 3.5 liter V6. However, it is twin turbocharged and it's based in a platform that is built specifically for racing. We had a chance to watch this vehicle in the pits. We had the chance to talk to the crew as they worked on the vehicle, and we got to watch the drivers as they worked with the pit crew with this vehicle.
Notice that it only has the single exhaust manifold. It's all goes into the head. The reason for doing that is on the road car, when you start the engine up, you want it to get hot quickly for emissions. Reduces the amount of emissions coming out of the engine. So they run a lot of water from the engine around the exhaust and use the exhaust to heat up the water. On a racing engine, that's not what you want to do. So the exhaust, the way this is set up, it heats up the water even more, which means we have to put bigger radiators on it and cool it down, keep everything cool for racing.
One of my favorite parts of working with Acura behind the scenes was working with Peter Cunningham. Now, he isn't just the boss of real-time racing. No. He is also a 3-time winner of Pikes Peak in his division. That's right. And on top of that, he's also the youngest SCCA champion. The guy has an impressive roster, and he was patient enough to sit with my big ass in a car and help me get around the track without killing myself.
Cheers.
Shall we?
You bet.
All right. You recommend paddle shifters or?
It'll shift on its own because it'll only downshift one time. Right, sweep left. Wait, look for all the way through that apex. There you go. And now let it flow. And keep going to the right. Touch the brake, off the brake. Let it roll in here. Look through the corner. Where's that next apex? There it is. And go. And your sight picture looks good. Touch the brake here, off the brake. Very late. Here you gotta really stop for this one. Don't just grind it in there. There you go. Now go. Wait for it, and now go. Got a little bit of power there.
It's got a kick.
Brake, turn it in. Oh. So now things are happening a little faster,
Right.
So don't go from 3 to 7, go from 3 to 5.
Got it.
Things happen very quickly on this little course, so you have to really
They
plan
do
your
indeed.
future. Ticket, that was good. Now give it some brake here. Tiptoe, and now go. There you go. It's a 10 position switch, not an on-off switch.
Not an on-off switch. Got it.
Keep going. And now.
Braking way too early for that.
For that one you did, but the time before you didn't.
Overcompensating.
Look all the way through the corner. And let it flow, and now add some throttle here. Don't drive over there, let it flow over there.
Got it.
Okay, turn here, let it use some of the road, and now look through the corner, where's that next apex? Add the throttle, and go. All the way through here. Go, and then tiptoe here, tiptoe. And go. Wait for it, and again, 10 position switch.
Is this
Now
my
we
pit?
Yep. That
Peter
happened kinda
Cunningham,
fast.
folks, just put up with my BS as I drove poorly through a course. But thank you. You made me a better driver just within 3 laps.
Good deal. Oh, you did great.
So there you go, guys. A little bit of behind the scenes with Acura and their racing team. I want to give out a special thank you to the racers who put up with my big ass sitting in their cars as they took me around the tracks. Wasn't it great to be able to see what goes into making these teams work and going out on the track? All of that stuff was awesome. Thank you again to Juan Pablo Montoya for using me as ballast in the back of the vehicle. That was painful and awesome at the same time. Thanks for joining me. For the Fastlane Car, this is Nathan. I'll see you guys next time.